Raw Conversation has been rated adult by Dripping in Black Productions. Mature audiences only.
Hello everyone, my name is Leah. I am a mother, I'm a wife, as well as an attorney. I've been practicing law for about 17 years now, and right now I'm an advisor for a government agency. Born and raised in Detroit, West Side, I attended Cass Tech High School, Eastern Michigan University, and the University of Detroit Mercy School of Law. I love adventure, I love cruises, parasailing, I did some skydiving. I just really like to live an adventurous life. And my newest adventure right now is Raw Conversation, and I'm happy to be here.
What's up, everybody? Kente Rosser, aka Ross the Boss, among many other things. I am first and foremost a father, a lifelong educator, been in the educational profession for 16, 17 years now. I love having a positive impact in my community. I love helping people. I love building. I love positive energy. Born and raised in the city of Detroit, proud graduate of Cass Technical High School. I think that deserves a round of applause. Proud graduate of Wayne State University, undergrad and grad school. And again, I'm just happy to be here to do this podcast.
Hey everybody, my name is Jay. Happy to be here to be able to connect with my community. I started out in education. Now I'm a mental health therapist. I also, do some work with nonprofits. I'm just out here, trying to be a blessing to others and also allow others to be a blessing to myself. So welcome to the Raw Conversation.
Yo, what's up? It's Key Brooks. I'm a real estate broker, entrepreneur, sex symbol, ladies man, and all that good stuff. And I'm from the east side of Detroit, so I survived the street. I'm a father of one daughter. She just turned 15. She's giving me a little hell right now. Y'all know how teenagers be, but I'm here to give y'all some raw conversation. I want to share my abstract thoughts with y'all, so just vibe with us and enjoy the moment.
Welcome to Raw Conversation, a podcast for the smart, sexy, and grown. Now, here are your hosts.
I'm excited to be here talking amongst my fellow folks, and we're looking forward to giving y'all some raw conversation today. Excuse me, I just drank some tea, so I'm like really hot right now, so I probably did take the jacket off because I'm in the gym a little bit. Just Jay, you see it? No, I'm joking.
Oh my goodness. That's cool.
Oh, my bad. So look, we got to do the off the top. So off the top, this week I got another tattoo to get. So I got this one a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna go finish it out. I'm gonna get sleeved out because I got my tattoos back in the 90s and early 2000s before the art was really good. So that's pretty much what I got going on. What about you, Leah? What you got going on off the top?
Off the top, today I just woke up with an attitude of gratitude. Lately, I just been I've been going through a lot of stuff. I had a friend who passed away and just different things. And I've just been in this mood. And today I was like, you know what? I'm so blessed. I got so many things to be thankful for. Wonderful family, love all around. So I'm just trying to keep that momentum because it's so easy right now to just think about everything else that's going on. So I'm grateful today.
For sure. That's cool. Key, funny that you brought up a tattoo. I have a tattoo from when I was in high school and I'm thinking about getting it removed, but I heard it's painful. So I don't know. But speaking of like removing things, it's no longer, worth your time. This week I've been doing a lot of self-care. First time getting a massage since before the pandemic. So that was really good. So, off the top, just thinking about self-care and enjoying life. So yeah, Leah, attitude of gratitude. That's what's up.
Amen.
And I guess for me, my off the top is kind of a hodgepodge of what everyone has said. And, it's picking your lane, finding what works for you, and staying in your lane and being as productive as you possibly can while in your lane. But after you've been productive and after you've been creative, is finding some time to rest and recharge. For me as an educator, resting and recharging is the hardest thing to do, but it's probably the most essential and the most important thing to do. So resting could look like a number of things. It could be self-care. It could be going to the gym, which I did do today, by the way. It could be whatever your lane is, whatever your means and method of self-care. It could be burning sage, burning Palo Santo, meditating, taking frequent naps, whatever it is you want to do. But I think that that's important, that rest, relaxation, and recharging. Yeah. So what I want to do is segue us into our raw convo portion of the show. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, for those of you who are rejoining us because you love the content that we have been able to bring to you all, remember you can follow us on all platforms at The Raw Convo. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you follow us. Make sure you give us feedback. We love that. But the Raw Convo portion of our show is we work with our producers, and they give us the topics that we're going to talk about in the chat. We really have no idea prior to the show what we're going to talk about. We are very raw. We are very authentic, very genuine. And that's kind of the premise of the Raw Convo segment. Our producer doesn't want us to have canned responses or for us to go and write down statistics about whatever it is we want to talk about, which is good. You know, and some of us that may be quick with the Google can do it, you know, while the show or while the conversation is progressing. But nonetheless, we want to bring you a raw, authentic conversation, unrehearsed. So they type these topics into the chat. We glance over like it's a teleprompter, read what it is, kind of internalize it, and then we go for it. So that's what we're going to do for you all today in the Raw Convo portion. We hope that you enjoy it. We hope that it is uplifting, entertaining, whatever you get out of it, we hope that you enjoy it. And like I said, like, subscribe, share this content so we can keep on bringing it to you. How we do.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what you ain't gonna do, Kente.
What's that?
Kente already had a script. Like, he does this so well. Yo, Kente, man, what? I'm like, damn, I ain't come up with all that off the top.
Hey,
that shows he got the gift of gab. I see.
Right.
When he say Palamento, I'm like, what is that?
I don't know.
Santo,
you know, that's the, you know, it's the good, supposed to bring good vibes. But what that is, that's that Cass Tech education that's working for us.
That's it. That's it right there. Yeah. I agree. Second and all the above.
That's it. That's it. So our first prompt for this episode is, drum roll please, dating. First dates are. All right, so I guess our producer with this ... All right, oh, they want us, okay, they want us to work for it this time. So first dates are ... Explain.
First dates are cheap and casual. A cheap and casual setting is a good first date because I don't know if we're going to like each other. Let me take you to Starbucks or a little smoothie cafe or something. Put some little bananas and strawberries in your drink and we just kick it and see how it goes because I don't want to really like overly impress you because that's going to set the standard. You're going to think I'm going to be coming out my pocket all the time and, you know, that's just not going to happen. So, yeah. And first dates are also good. My fault. I mean, first dates are also good. Well, no, I'm gonna wait. Go ahead, Leah.
No. Go.
I was gonna say, no, first dates. Cause sometimes I was gonna go in. See, I don't want to be the first one just talking reckless.
Just go ahead. It's raw conversation.
Right. First dates can also lead to like good sex and a happy relationship. So first date is the first impression. And whatever happens on that, what had happened, I was on a first date the other day. And it almost went. Anyway, look, go ahead, Leah. Go ahead.
Well, it's been a long time since I've had a first date, so I'm gonna have to live through you on this one. But first dates are exciting. They were exciting for me and scary. But in the same breath, the lawyer and me, they were informational. I was there to get information and try to see where you are, what you about, what we could be about. You know, I'm not saying that I know women get the bad rap of we jump in too quick on the first date, but we need to know what you about and if we gonna mesh. And if you're not, I'm not wasting my time. So I do miss the first dates, but you know, I did enjoy them and they are informational.
So Leah, let me ask, because I have a few ideas, and Jay, I know you got some ideas as well. But let me ask, so that information grab for ladies for the first date, is that like, for a lack of better words, an interview, an interrogation? Does it come out organically, or is it very forward of what's your name, what do you do, how much you make, what do you drive? Like how does that go? How does that unfold?
I don't know, Jay. You want to jump in first?
Well, it's funny because the first thing that came to my mind is first dates are, I thought, stupid. Like, I'm not trying to say my favorite color one more time. Like, but so let me explain. Some first dates are amazing. You have fun, but some of them, you know, it's like that interrogation, the investigation. I think meshing well, organically, seeing, you know, if there's a connection, an organic connection is amazing. I think sometimes though, the first dates can be so
awkward,
not authentic.
Yeah.
No, it's just kind of odd and awkward.
That's why you got to just ask the tough questions right off the rip. I agree. Like, how much you make? What's your credit score? You know what I'm saying? You want more kids? All of those things are important to me. Like, I need you. You know,
so
you
if a woman asks you that, so women ask you that, and you're okay about a credit score on the first date?
My credit score 811, so I'm comfortable saying
that. Hey, Keith, lead with that one. You got this 811. You got to
we need to be taking some notes.
Well, I think that some things are just a given in order for there to even be a first date.
Right.
You know, there's, you know, you maybe know something about the person already, you know, so it's like some things is just, you already coming with a set of values that you know, connect with. And it's not very rarely, well, I've never been on a blind date where I just did not know nothing about the person before.
So
to me, it's, go ahead, Kente.
Just real quick. Quick. Believe it or not, my first, to a certain extent, let me say that, my philosophy on the first date is very similar to Key's. Very similar. And I think that might be opposite what ladies may look for on a first date, because I do not think that it should be the expectation that a significant amount of money is going to be spent on a first date. I think that needs to go out the window, because you know, first date after first date after first date could get expensive after expensive after expensive. And believe it or not, I do think that, first of all, let me preface this by saying I'm in a relationship, so it's been a while since I've gone on a first date. But I will say that the first date is a get to know you opportunity, and I don't think it should cost a hefty price tag to get to know someone. So I think a walk in the park, I think a swing by the ice cream parlor or the coffee shop is our great first date options. And you know, depending upon how it goes and depending upon the area where you are, going from the coffee shop to a diner or to a restaurant, there's always an option to extend the conversation, to extend the date. But, you know, off rip, if, you know, we think we're going to Ruth Chris or something expensive, I think that's, you know, that's days,
why you,
that's
why you got to date. It's dating season, like May 1st to September 1st, because them the warmer months. You can do a lot of cheap shit through those months. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a walk. Let's ride the bike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's get some ice cream. You can get away with a lot of it. It's the wintertime dates when you kind of stuck in the crib and you got to spend more because you want to be somewhere where it's warm. And,
Babe, let's go ride around, look at the Christmas lights. You know?
Right. Yeah.
You have to be more creative. And, I can see that in the winter months. You have to be colder months in Michigan. You have to be more creative.
Certainly.
That's when the arguments start too, you know, after the first date. When it get cold and you done settle down from the summertime high, you got too much time on your hands to start thinking. And that's when you begin to miss those first date moments, because I feel like it get a little more intense when it gets cold.
So. Yeah, I agree.
But I do think first dates can be a tad bit awkward. You know, you don't depending upon how well you do or don't know the person. You know, am I going to pick you up? Are we going to meet somewhere? I think the default setting is to meet somewhere. You know, the awkward timing of, I'm trying to open the door. You may not be used to having a door open for you. I'm trying to pull out your chair. You think I'm pulling it out for me. And those moments, awkward.
You know what's wild?
You definitely want to try to find a rhythm.
Yeah.
What's wild about that though is I'm a chirp guy. Like me going to open the door, chirp. I'm gonna do it because I know it's like the polite thing to do. But honestly, if I hit the unlock button, like if I step close to my car, the door is unlocked. So me doing, I get it's the chivalry part. I get it. You know what I mean? You got to be chivalrous. Is that the word, Kente? Chivalrous.
That's
okay. I'm making sure.
That's the word. That's the word. But I think you still, even though technology has come a long way, I think some of those staples of courtship have to remain. Mm-hmm. Now, here's what I don't like. I'll say this. Here's what I will almost refuse to do. And this may sound petty or like semantics, I have no problem with opening the door as we are both approaching the car. So we come into the car, I go to your side, open the door, boom. What I will not do is get out of the car once we reach our destination and go around to your door to open it. That is too much like valet service. That's too much.
It depends. It depends.
I think that like getting to know who the person is. I mean, a lot of times you talk on a phone first, or maybe you kind of see who they are like on social media. Right. So you know if they're like a feminist where they may not want doors open for them, but if you're the type of person that likes to open doors for someone, that may not be the person that you would pick to go on a date with, you know? So it's, you know, again, I think you kind of know a little bit about the person, maybe. And maybe I'm contradicting myself because I said first dates can be stupid because you're like, you know, saying about colors. It's just a hodgepodge.
If a woman got mad that I opened her door, if a woman got mad that I opened her door, the first date is over. It's done. Like,
well, it's not that petty. She may get mad. It just may be that
you too independent for me. Know what I'm saying?
That might be what it is.
Get your independent ass out of here.
So, but you ain't gotta be hostile. You just know that you're not compatible. Well, you know, I see myself as independent, but I also believe in a lot of traditional things, and that's me.
But are there a lot of women out there that don't want their door open? Because I know I want mine open. I mean, my husband still opens mine and pulls my chair out, and he'll get out. Now, sometimes he will get out the car and come open the door, but sometimes I'll just go ahead and open it myself. Like, okay, we here. Yeah. But I still enjoy that, and I think that's a wonderful thing. And I don't think I mean, maybe a feminist would think so, but I don't think that's anything that will take away from my womanhood or my independence.
I think it depends on how we're dressed. Like, what's the occasion? Like, if we're going to like a ball or some adult prom, I'm gonna get out the car and open up your door for you and hold you by your hand so you can walk out or don't trip yourself with your heels on. But if we're just going to McDonald's or something, like I'm probably not gonna open your door.
Well, no,
like,
I get that.
Yeah, it just depends on where we're going. If we're
going out, like
it's spectrums. You know, it's a spectrum, you know, and it's like as you get to know people, you get to know, you know, what works for them. And like maybe someone is fine with opening the door for themselves, but if the mate that they're with likes to open it for them, and then that's fine. Or, you know, I think that I don't know.
So Jay, let me ask you, who should pay for the first date? Who should pay on a date? Should it be the man or the woman, or should it be Dutch?
Oftentimes it's the man that approaches the female and asks them on the date. I mean, I don't say oftentimes, but if so, you know what I'm saying? I know you're a sex symbol and all that, you working out. I get it, you know? We heard the intro, but I'm used to the guy always paying for the first date. But again, it's all about showing your appreciation in both ways. So like after we're in a relationship, like I don't expect you to always pay for everything. Like I might pick something up, you know, it's but we're talking about the first date. It's for me, it's always been the guy.
It's the guy.
Just real quick, you know what I appreciate? I appreciate if I pay for the date and the girl does the fake reach. Like she gonna reach in her purse to act
but
like
that's not authentic.
Right. That's what I said.
I appreciate that you even trying, because sometimes I'm petty and I will let you do it.
I was gonna say, have you ever called her on it? Like,
there's too many games. That's too much game. That's games being played. Like I'm gonna act like I'm reaching in my purse just so it looked like I was gonna pay. But if you really tell me to pay, I'm gonna be pissed off.
I'm be right. Yeah, I'm not gonna say nothing I ain't prepared to do. Yeah. But have you done that before, Key? And made the girl pay if she asked.
If I knew it wasn't a second date and I just wasn't feeling it, yeah, she do the fake reach. Oh, okay, you got that, because I mean it is what it is. So yeah.
You know,
That is funny.
I think society plays a role in our perspective of dates. You know, if you look at social media being one aspect, music, TV, reality shows, I think all of those play a role. And I think that some think that if it's not a heavy ticket on that first date or on a dates period, that there's a lack of interest. So if we're not going to something upscale, or, you know, we're not ordering appetizers, meal, drinks, dessert, the whole nine, then there's, you know, that's the expectation. So having said that, and saying that my perspective is similar to Key's on that first date, I'll have a problem footing the bill. All we getting is coffee. It's only going to be like $7. I'll pay for the coffee and the ice cream down the street, you know, so we can keep the evening going. So I have a problem picking up the bill.
I got a first date budget. Like I'm not looking to spend no more than $75. That's two drinks, a couple apps. You know what I mean? That's 2 drinks a piece and a couple apps, and we get up out of there. That's $75. I shouldn't spend no more than that. You know what I mean? Anything more than that, it's like, damn, I must really like you. You know, like I'm not going on a first date to a place where you got to valet your car. That's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then like, so if the goal of dating is for like marriage, or not marriage, but like you date with, you know, some intention, hopefully you won't have as many first dates, you know. But if like you just single, ready to mingle, and you out here and you going on like 5 first dates, 5 first
that's
dates,
women.
5 different women. Yeah,
no, that's women. No, rewind that. That's women. Y'all got dudes saved in
Oh
your
no, I'm
phone.
saying me too. I mean, women too.
Yeah,
you know, but I guess what I'm saying is like, why are people dating? Like, is it to potentially find something that lasts longer, or is it just, you know, to mingle? In that case, if you are footing the bill, it gets expensive because you dating 5 different people.
I agree. But men and women date for different reasons, though. Women usually have intentions to get to know somebody more, grow a relationship. Man, we kind of dating initially just to get it. You know what I mean? To get some. Yeah, that's why we do all of that. Yeah, that's why we do all of that. And
well,
after the date, that's 9 out of 10 men. And then after they see that after you bring a little more, you got some substance to you, you're intellectual, then we begin to look past that. It's like, oh, okay, that's why women usually fall in love faster than men. And they be like, I don't know if he really likes me and all of this, because y'all so in love off the ambiance of the first date that, you know, that y'all get caught up in that emotional, give me a word, Kente, that emotional allure of the first date. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
That's how I be feeling. But
so
Kente,
that being
be catching feelings too.
Well, that being said, that's a good way to go into our next prompt. Who do you believe is more superficial during dating? Men, single men, or single women?
Women. Easy. Women, what y'all gotta do? Superficial?
Like, okay, when y'all hear superficial, what do you think superficial? What do you like? What does superficial mean to y'all?
Makeup. What kind of car he drive? How tall is he? Is he bald head? How much is he packing? Credit score. All of those. Women are y'all like astronomically superficial. Woo,
yeah,
like that should pop up.
I also think that being superficial prevents a lot of first dates and definitely prevents a lot of second dates, because this checklist that be a superficial man or a superficial woman may have, this mental checklist, when you're sitting across that table or the coffee stool, wherever you are, it's like you got this mental checklist that you, okay, don't check this box, doesn't check that box, kind of checks, I don't know about. So that, and I think it is a lot of superficial game plan, posturing, if you will, that goes on a date. And being on this side of the table, from my perspective, I do think that ladies are more superficial. And that's my experience, you know, obviously, because I know I don't think of myself as being superficial. So that kind of takes me out of the equation of this whole calculus here. So I'm superficial. Ladies are a little more superficial.
I'm shallow and superficial. I'm paying attention to everything. I care about that type of stuff. I mean, at 40, I am looking for more of a, a commitment and marriage and all of that. I do desire to have that some days, so I am superficial. I'm paying attention to, how you wearing your hair, if your jeans old or what. I'm just paying attention. Like if you got on some Elsa Dariana apple bottoms, I'm like, oh yeah, you ain't the one for me. Bro.
What? So when I think of something being superficial or thinking that superficial, it's caring about things that don't matter.
Yeah.
And so like males or females, which ones are the most likely to think about things that don't matter when going on the first date? I don't know. Those are always hard for me because I know trash females and trash males and wonderful females and wonderful males. So, I don't know.
Here's one thing I want to say. This doesn't necessarily fall under the superficial category, but I think it's important when a person is on a date that is clearly stated that it is a date. Because I think that there can sometimes be some confusion of is this a date? Are we hanging out? Is this part business, part person? So I think it kind of needs to be established. And I guess part of that whole dating season is to go with the flow. But yeah, I think that it needs to be some sort of clear communication. What are we doing on this at this particular time? Are we hanging out? Is it a date? And I think that can kind of clear up a lot of stuff too, So
I've had that question before. This guy, he was like, do you consider this a date? And I was like, no, I thought we were just meeting up to get some food. I mean, I knew it was.
Wow.
I mean, but see, I believe in being honest. I believe in being honest. So obviously, like the conversation leading up to that did not make me think it was like, this is a date. Or maybe the difference is if it's really casual, I don't really see that as date. If it's more not as casual, I see that as a date. So if it's just like, oh, hey, I'm here, you want to meet up at such and such, or oh, let's grab coffee tomorrow, that seems more of like a get to know you, but like dating, is it a date?
See, I think for most men, the default setting is date. Yeah. I think if a man invites you out, coffee, dinner, park, ice cream, whatever, is date. And I think that's the default setting. But I think, from experience, having dated before, I do think that your default setting and others' default setting may not be the same. So it kind of needs to be clearly communicated.
Yeah. And I think we shy away from having authentic conversation because a lot of times we really don't want to say what it is because we trying to see,
You're trying to get a free steak out of it. I mean, let's be real. No, I'm just joking.
Thank you. No, that's exactly the truth.
But either way, you're going to get it, whether we hanging out or not. I think you still kind of get a free meal. I mean, I'm thinking in that situation, he still paid, right, Jay? When you hung out? Yeah. So it's still,
he invited.
Because he invited you. So it's still kind of, so I would say in that situation, anytime a guy asked me out, I considered it a date, even if it was a quick bite or, and I'm not saying it was a formal, just, date. It was just, okay, hey, we going out, we're going on a date. It may not be one of the most fancy ones, but it's still a date. So I don't know, but I've been out of the game for a while, so maybe I'm
I'm in the game. I kind of let my intentions be known right off the bat. Like, oh, this is what we're doing. We can hang out, we can kick it. I feel like it's a date depending on where the conversation goes. If we keep it strictly business, it'll be that. But typically, if I'm having, and just in my world, like if I'm on a business meeting or something, and I can pick up on energy. I can know if the woman wants to do a little more or how her interactions is with me. Then it's going to be classified as a date in her mind because she's trying to get to know me outside of the scope of business. And that right there is those blurred lines where, women get their feelings hurt because if I say we going out for business, then that's what it is, damn it, business.
So the other thing is, and I see our producers are putting putting things in the chat, but I got so much in here, I just kind of want to get out. So producers gonna have to wait for us. Like, no, I'm just kidding. but I will say this: there are some throughout my years, I've learned that there are some do's and some don'ts, or some best practices. I'll call it some dating best practices.
Okay, educator.
Yeah. Let's run down a few best practices. So I definitely think that the first day, I'll say the first few dates should be meet somewhere. And I think that's for both parties' safety, especially the ladies' safety. I don't think it's a good idea for ladies to get in the cars with dudes that they don't know, or to even take dates at the dude's crib if they don't. There's no previous friendship there.
I agree.
So I definitely think that the meetup date is a best practice. Now, this may sound childish. This may sound like it should go without saying, but I also don't think the date should just be between the two. There shouldn't be any tag-alongs or so. This can become important if you're meeting somewhere where other friends are. So if you're meeting at a place where her girls may be or where your boys may be. And I think that's a little, I guess strategically that could be interference and that could be good. If you need a way out or a quick segue or, something.
Yeah.
But I think it should just be the two of you. I think that those are a couple best practices for dating that kind of need to be established.
Okay, well, let's keep that going. What are some best practices, Leah and Key? Like 2 best practices for dating.
Smell good. I feel like hygiene. I feel like hygiene is at the top of the list. Like when I reach in for the hug, how you doing? I want to be smelling good. And I don't want my lady to smell like she just sweated her pressing curl out. So I think hygiene is really important. And I also think the expectations of what are we doing? Like, okay, we're going to go to dinner. Is that it? Or is it a lingering date? I think those things should kind of be set too, where the time management is in place, because there'll be times where we just spent 2 hours together, but the woman may feel like that's not enough time for her. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I wanted to do something else. And that wasn't really part of the dating arrangement.
Yeah. Best practice for me. Oh my God. I would say just when I will go on a date, I try to have an open mind. I know there are times, and kind of going back to the superficial thing, I was a little superficial when I was dating, and sometimes I will kind of do the once over and not be interested, or just certain things. And I had to, once I was single for so long, and I had to realize, okay, those things don't matter. You got to kind of, so my thing would be have an open mind. I mean, don't just look at the outside, and just delve into the conversation and see what this person is about, and without looking at all the outward things.
Yeah. Mine, I think having a conversation on the phone before, so you're not going in blind, so it's not as awkward. And then 2 would be, I know it can be hard in any situation, but really try to be yourself. Because if you're, if you're showcasing your representative, then, it's hard to keep up with that act.
Yeah.
After the 4th and 5th, time of meeting one another. But if you're really not there to have a meaningful relationship with this person, or the possibility, then, have your representative, because it's just a fun ride, 2 or 3 times, and then, you're done.
Oh, I also think that you need to date within your tax bracket too. Like, because I feel like if you don't, say, for example, Jay, you made $300,000 and I made $30,000 a year, and we don't got no business date. Now, I don't care how much you like me, because I'm going to be insecure. I'm going to feel like I'm not worthy, or you're going to meet somebody with a higher status. So I kind of feel like you need to date someone that's either right where you're at or almost where you're at, and vice versa, because when you're
makes it harder.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I think that really applies to the man status, because men will date a woman that doesn't make a lot, because we care more about the physical beauty of a woman. It's like, okay, yeah, you work at Walmart, we can go out and kick it. Nothing against Walmart, but I'm just saying, you work at Walmart, we can go out and kick it because you look good. You got a fat ass. I want to hang out with you and see if I can get some, right? But women,
like how she look in them khaki pants
with the smock on, right? I don't think
it's a job.
Yeah, and I be feeling like women a lot of times they settle. You know what I mean? When they do that, it's like y'all have this list of the type of guy you want, but it's a shortage on good men. y'all start just checking off this list and all of the things that you wanted out of that man, it no longer exists.
So let me ask you this. We talked about the variance in income level. Mm-hmm. What are some other barriers? What about the education levels? Like if she has a PhD and the guy has an associate's or vice versa? Or what about cultural barriers? If there are cultural differences that can kind of come between, or does love trump all? And obviously on the first date, you're not at that level of love yet, but you might be working towards it. So do those barriers present so much of a challenge that, nope, we can't go any further than the first date, too much of a disparaging difference in income, whatever, or can we work through that to see how it goes?
I've always heard the whole thing, they say opposites attracts, but same stays together. So I think you can be attracted to someone that is totally different from you, but in the long run, I think it's the commonality between you that's going to keep you together. So, I think, like the Bible said, don't be unevenly yoked. You kind of got to be with somebody. They're not going to be your exactly like you, but they have to be close enough to you in goals, future, whatever, religion, all those things, you kind of got to be close, because there's going to be a lot of friction if you're not. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Negotiables and non-negotiables, for me, a non-negotiable is my faith. Because that's what guides everything that I do. Like I try for that to be what guides everything that I do. So someone who has a different faith or no faith, like that, just it wouldn't work. But then there's other things where if people are willing to work on it, if someone has an insecurity about what someone else does and they're able to do counseling or able to, it just depends on if they're willing to work at it.
See, I'm shallow. So this is something that I do think about kids. You know what I mean? And I look at things like,
that's not shallow.
My thing is, say you got 4 kids. You got 4 kids. Okay, cool. But I'm looking at, were you ever married when you had those kids? Were you divorced? Because all of that shit plays a huge factor to how I look at you. I'm like, so I got to deal with 4 kids, 3 different baby daddies. Like, I don't want to do that. And I would prefer a woman with some older kids too. My daughter, 15. I don't want to deal with a woman with a 1-year-old. You know what I mean? Unless the baby daddy in jail and ain't never getting out of debt. You know what I mean? I don't want to deal with the shit. So those are things that I care about.
I don't think that's shallow. That's important to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it's important to you, it's not shallow. But maybe you got to ask yourself why it's important to you. Maybe why it's important to you could be shallow, but anything that's important to you is not shallow.
That makes sense. Here's something that has baffled me over the years. And, you're dating someone and they presented you all of these standards or expectations that they have. And some of their standards or expectations you might not meet. But then you see them with a person and they're in a relationship. And you think back to all these standards that they had, that they presented you with, that you didn't meet, and you might know of this person in a relationship where you're like, dang, I know this dude don't meet those standards that you set out. So the same thing that blocked, us from being together, how did this happen to where you find yourself with this guy? And I think that just baffles me, that perplexes me.
That desperation, that's how, because...
Or there was a stronger attraction that all those standards went out the window because there was you kind of just like, it's a stronger attraction.
And I think that happens frequently on both sides with men and women, because I think we all have these standards of this ideal of what we want in a mate, but the person that we end up in a relationship with may not check those boxes. And, that's where I think the like you said, Jay, the attraction kind of trumps all or supersedes all. But that takes us to our next prompt of to date or not to date. And I'll be honest with you, as I see this prompt, I don't know exactly what that means. So maybe somebody else can help us out.
Yeah, I think that's the major topic, but I think the next part will be, we kind of touched on it a little bit, someone with kids. So to date or not to date someone with kids.
Got you.
And how many kids are too many? So
Right.
I'll start.
One.
I'll start. When I was dating, I didn't have any children. I was kind of one of them people, you know, if everybody dates you, you don't have no kids. And as I was 30 something, still didn't have no kids. But, you know, and for a long time, I'm like, I don't want a man with any children, none. Cause I want, you know, my kids to be his kids. And, you know, and I think that's how it should be. And lo and behold, I married a man with 2 kids. So I think it's just really, like Jay said, it really depends on something that was a non-negotiable early on. When I got with him, there was so much more about him that made me forget about the whole 2 kids thing. Mm-hmm. And it was like, okay, but he's a wonderful guy. He checks this box, Okay, he got 2 kids. So now I'm willing to relax that requirement because something else has a greater pull. So I think it's just, again, a individual basis. It just really depends if that person draws you in, and then you're kind of willing, you know, there's some non-negotiables, like Jay said. Religion for me, yes, we got to have the same faith, but there's some negotiables, like, okay, I didn't really understand, you know, being younger, I didn't understand people having, you know, as I got older and dating, I realized more and more people were going to have kids. I mean, now when I was 23, I think it was more reasonable to say no kids. You know, once you hit 30 and above, you know, people then lived a little life, then been married and all that. So I just think things change along the way.
Yeah, I agree with that. Oftentimes it changes, like as you change, what you are okay with changes too. You know, I think it's really about how healthy is the relationship that the person has with the other parent of their child. You know, is it a whole bunch of drama? So if you're a person that does not want drama, it doesn't matter if it's drama coming from a gambling issue to the situation he or she has with, you know, the parent of their child. You know, it just depends on what comes with it. It's not just the fact that they have kids. It's like what comes with it. I think that's a determining factor.
I think a little. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Keith. Go ahead, brother.
No, I was just gonna say I think a little toxicity is always good when you're dating somebody. Just a little bit, not a lot.
Not from the ex-boo.
Oh hell no, not from that. I'm talking about between me and the partner.
That is.
Yeah, I want to get cussed out sometimes, you know what I mean? Just so I can feel, not all the time.
Drama. Oh.
Just a little bit, just a little toxic.
So you can feel alive, huh? So you
you like to be verbally flowing. Okay.
Not too much, you know.
But here's what I think about the kids piece, and this is something that a lot of people don't talk about when they say they want to make with or without kids, when that's a part of their preferences, is that the person can feel as though the kid is put before them. And that could be a problem. And I think that, let's say from a man's perspective, if a man has a child, particularly if he's dating a woman that doesn't have a child, particularly if that man's child is this is what I've heard from other ladies, if that child is a daughter, the lady may take exception to that and feel as though she's not being put first, and I think it's natural, definitely in the dating phases, for, you know, the parent to put the needs of the child first. You're not in the relationship, you know, you're not married, anything like that. Because I do think when you're married, the order changes. I think it's God, spouse, kids.
Yeah.
In the courting phase, kids are kind of
first
prioritized. Yeah. But I think in the dating phase, it's difficult for men and women for the person that has kids, because that person feels though the kids are put before them, or more of a priority. What do y'all think about that?
Well, my daughter coming first. Like that's period. Like if you got a problem with my daughter coming first, peace. You know what I mean? Your kids can come in whatever order they come in. It don't matter to me. What I don't want to deal with though is like been on the phone and she just yelling at the kids in the background and they don't got no order. Like, I'm not dealing with no disorderly kids if I got to, kick it with a woman with kids. Like, if those kids just reckless and fucking up in school and she arguing and you on the phone, I had to fuck man up today. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with none of that type of none of that.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Key, I think it's how you word it. Like, if there's someone that you're dating and you're like, my kids come first. I mean, like very dismissive, that's hurtful.
Yeah.
Hurtful.
But
I can understand.
But if you're like, like I'm dedicated to my daughter's life, a little more, it means the same thing, but it's kind of like, are you serving what you're saying on a trash can top or plate?
It depends on how the energy is being presented to me. If you have an attitude that my daughter needs came before yours, then I'm a mirror of you. I'm gonna give you the energy that you gave me. But right off the bat, I think it goes without even explaining in my world that I'm a hands-on father, you know what I mean? Of my daughter, my bonus daughter, and my niece. I'm always gonna be there because you're gonna hear that in the conversations that we have, that I'm heavily involved. So, I mean, if you're a smart woman, typically I date smart women, you're gonna know that that's a very important component in my life. So
I think most women understand that kids come first. I think, speaking from a woman's perspective, we understand that kids come first. I think it becomes a problem when we're getting more serious. If you're going to be able to turn that off once, say if we get married, is it still going to be the kids first? Like Kente say, that order changes when you get married. So if I'm feeling like you're going to always think that they come first, I think that's a problem. And just a little bit about my situation, that was a concern for me because my husband was one of those ones that say, hey, my kids. And that's one of the things that I loved about him. But my concern was, okay, so when I become your wife, does that change? And we had a lot of conversations about that because I was, the way he feels about them, which he should, I was feeling like, okay, well, am I always going to be second or, third or, whatever it is. And so I think it just really, it takes conversations once you get serious. Now, in those beginning phases, no, you can't say anything about anybody putting their child first because that's their first priority. You're just someone they're dating, or you're just, someone they're getting to know. So the more serious it gets, I think a woman wants to see that you will be able to put her first in the long run.
I think my daughter's going to come first until she finds her own husband or she's self-sufficient, to do her own thing. Now, maybe that may change because I understand, from a religious standpoint, it's God, spouse, kids. But for me, it's God, kids, and whoever.
So what's an example of like the child coming first? Like what? Like
eating. Say if it's only one slice of pizza left and we're starving. Well, me as a man, I'm gonna give it to my kid first because they need
but
it,
that's not really gonna happen. That's not really gonna
happen. Maybe what if the Walking Dead?
Let's a real situation where. Okay, so maybe it's like your person that you're dating and it's serious has like this really important event happening on September 24th at 6 p.m. At that same exact time, your child has a game or a recital. I think that's where it gets.
I think
nobody going. We're not going.
I think even a little more practical than that. Let's say that you, your child, and your mate are all chilling at the crib together. Who are you giving most of your attention to? Are you catering to the needs of your child? Are you making sure they're taken care of? Are you making sure their ice is refreshed in their drink? Are you making sure that they get the slice of cake for this? Like, who are you? And it can really be that simple. Like, man, I ain't getting no attention in this. Man, what's up? So what are you showing? Who are you showing affection to? Who gets the bulk of the kind words?
Honestly,
as you get ready to leave for work in the morning, those types of things I think are important as well.
Yeah, do double duty. Double duty.
That, and I also think gender plays a part. I think
Definitely.
single mothers are going to cater to the kids regardless of the setting, because that's just in their nature if they've been doing it on their own, regardless if their boyfriend or whatever is sitting there. But men, if we're bringing a young woman to the crib to kick it or whatever, we're probably going to pay that woman more attention, because I mean, we're not as nurturing, I feel, as women are when it comes to raising children.
I think
it's going to be a little different.
I think it depends on the gender blend of the parent and the child too. You know, and again,
Yeah.
this is coming from a conversation I had years ago where the lady that I was speaking to, and this wasn't it, we weren't dating or anything. We were friends, you know, just talking in a circle of friends. And so she was saying, you know, if the person has children, if particularly girl children, you know, maybe it's territorial thing. You know, she felt like the daughter's needs were being put before hers, or were being catered to before hers, and maybe the distribution of attention was imbalanced and unequal. And so, Jay, I think it's kind of difficult. I heard you say double do. I think it can be. You got to be very intentional about double duty, or, you know, I don't know if it comes natural or organic, which things should. I think you may have to be very intentional about, man, am I being equal with my time here or my affection here? And then after you get past that phase, I think it can be a little more organic, or things kind of fold and mesh.
That's why I said it's hard. It's hard dating somebody with little kids. Yeah, dating somebody with little kids is difficult. Because how you gonna feel more important than a 2-year-old? You know what I mean? That's crying or something like.
Yeah.
So I mean, I will do it, but it's
you gotta have humility
where,
for sure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, we can go on forever on this topic, I'm sure. Yeah. We could go into how many baby mamas and daddies is too much. I mean, there's so many things that we can go into, but we only have so much time. So we're gonna go ahead and go into our last segment of Before We Go. Does anybody want to talk about what's on their mind before we go?
I'll jump in there. I think, you know, to put a bow on this topic, on my perspective of this topic, dating can be fun and it should be fun. But I think having this conversation reminded me of how much work dating can be also. Yeah. And, you know, apparently you gotta be a little strategic in how you date and how you plan it, and all that goes into it. And I don't think that's a bad thing. You know, I think that ensures up your odds of both people getting out of what they're looking for. You know, no one being misled or confused. But so yeah, I think that's my perspective on it.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on that too, Kente. I did enjoy dating to a certain extent, but there was a part of it that I could not stand. And it is a lot of work, and getting to know people, and, you know, trying to make sure they're authentic, and it makes me happy that I'm not doing it anymore. I mean, I miss it to a certain extent. You'd miss new things, but in the same breath, I'm happy that I'm past that stage. So I would say that I'm just grateful, put a bow on it with that, grateful that I'm past that.
Yeah, I think that I don't really enjoy dating. I don't like going on a lot of different dates. And so that kind of puts me, you know, yeah, kind of, I don't know what's the word, but, you know, you got to get to know people, but I really don't care for it. And so I always just, I jokingly say it, but it's not a joke. Like, I really mean it. I think when two people get together, I mean, it's like a modern day miracle, you know, because it's all the different scenarios and situations that we've just talked about, you know. So when two people can come together and be together, that's a miracle. You know, I know about people's cancer being healed and versus other people still single and can't find a dude or a chick. So it's like, you know, in all seriousness, you know, so, you know, I think it's just, I think that's where my faith comes in. It's like, when it's supposed to be, it'll be.
Yeah.
For me, the challenges that I have is that I'm consistently inconsistent. Due to the fact that, like, I don't have a structured job where I work a 9 to 5 or something, a lot of times I may be at the bar or something at 12 noon to 3 p.m. tore down, and my lady's just getting off work at 5. And I don't feel like doing anything now because I've already done it on a Tuesday afternoon. And I think that right there plays a huge hindrance in my dating capabilities, because I can pick up and go whenever I want to. Oh, let me fly out of town on a Wednesday. But when I'm dating somebody that, you know, got to take vacation time and things like that, I got to wait. And, you know, I don't have the patience like that. It's like, damn, I got to wait 2 weeks when I just wanted to get out of town Wednesday to Friday and come right back. And I can't do it. So that's one of the challenges that I run into with dating. So I'm very calculated with who I give my time, effort, energy, money, and resources to, because I don't want to waste my time and I don't want to waste hers.
Well, we do want to keep the conversation going, and you can keep the conversation going. So please hit us up on all platforms at The Raw Convo on all social media, and you tell us how you feel about dating. We're ready and we're excited to hear about it. And with that, we're out.
Peace.
Peace. I didn't know what to say.
You have just experienced a Dripping in Black production.